Hey, so today we're meeting with Eva Riley, the director and screenwriter of a film that was a winner of the BIFA Raindance Discovery Award. Eva Riley, how are you this morning?
Yeah, good, thanks. I'm really well and happy to be here. Happy to chat to you.
Yeah, and where are you sitting today in COVID?
I'm sitting in my flat in Brighton.
In Brighton, right. Are you near the ocean?
We are actually really close. Yeah, like about 5 minutes walk from the ocean, so it's really nice.
So Perfect 10, Perfect 10. Why, what does the title mean? Why is it Perfect 10? And can you tell us a bit about your film?
Yeah, so Perfect 10 is about a 14-year-old gymnast called Lee, who is kind of gearing up to her first big competition. She's kind of been a general gymnast, but she's been promoted to the squad, and she really wants to get a good mark in her in the competition she's about to do. And the film tells a story of how her life is turned upside down when her half brother that she didn't know existed comes and stays with her and her dad. And she ends up getting involved in some of the stuff he's up to, which is to do with motorbikes and stealing motorbikes and doing general naughty stuff. And then the title Perfect 10 is kind of a throwback to an early idea I had. Originally, I was really interested in Nadia Comaneci, who was this amazing Romanian gymnast who had a perfect 10 at the Olympics. Yeah. So originally, actually, I wanted the main character to be obsessed with Nadia Comaneci. That element did sort of lose itself at some point, but I just kind of like the title still, so I kept it.
So this movie was finished last in 2020? Do I have the years right?
It was released in 2020, but we were finished it 2019.
2019. Yeah. So walk us back to the moment you first had this Eureka moment, and then take us through the milestones.
Yeah. So you mean the Eureka moment as in like the idea for the film?
Yeah. It wasn't 2019, I'm sure.
No, I started, I left film school at the very beginning of 2015. And so I started to throw around ideas for feature films because I'd done quite a lot of short films at that point. And I was working with Jacob Thomas, who was another producer from the NFTS. And at some point, I had this sort of image of, I always start with images in my head that sort of excite me, and I sort of go from there. So I had an image in my head of this young boy, young girl, riding on like a motorbike or a bicycle in the summer in the countryside, and that really intrigued me, and I wanted to do something about brother and sister. I hadn't really seen that before in film, so it went from that point. And then I wanted both the kids to have their own passions and for those passions to kind of intersect with each other. So I got really interested in gymnastics, like I said. And then at some point I just got really interested in motorbikes. I'm not a biker myself, although I'm quite fearful, so I'm not really, I have been on motorbikes but I'm a bit scared, so I'm not a biker, but there's lots of bikers around Brighton where I live, and also there was a lot in the media about sort of bike crime at the time, and I was kind of interested about the tone in the media where people would be quite judgmental of these young kids who are involved in criminality. And we're not really looking at the sort of backstory behind that. So I really wanted to have this brother as his character who comes into this girl's life, seems like a lot of bad news, but then he's much more complex than that. And yeah, so throughout 2015, we were just developing it casually. 2016, we got onto iFeature's development program, and we were developing that more formally up until 2017, when we got greenlit. So we were told that we could make the film, which was really exciting. And then we just kept on developing it and shot it in 2018 and then finished up 2019. So it was 5 years from first idea to actually finishing post-production, coloring, everything.
Did that seem like a long time or a short time to you?
I'd heard a lot. I'd heard before that 5 years was a good sort of marker for, getting a film, from first idea. So it was okay. And I have heard from other people that, some people might think that's quite short. Yeah, I mean, it feels like a long time when I look back on it, but at the same time, it went very fast, because every stage is so different, writing it and then shooting it. All these stages are so different that it doesn't feel like you're just working on one project for all that time. It has so many different layers to it. Yeah,
but the girl in it, she's amazing. How did you find her?
So we had a great casting director called Lucy Pardy, who is really, I think she won Best Casting for Rocks, actually. I hope she did. I think she did, yeah, at BIFA's. And she's amazing. I hunted her down. I was so desperate to work with her. And I knew she worked in Brighton, so I thought it was ideal. I sort of got her to join the team, which is great. And we met loads and loads of different girls and boys for the part of Lee and Joe. And Frankie met us quite early on. She was really sweet, had something really interesting about her, quite nervous in the first meeting. But when we started to go to acting, sort of acting group sessions, she was really confident, and it was really clear that she was a good actress. Mm. And yeah, she basically just found us through social media. So she was part of a gymnastics club, and there was a call out for coming along to an audition. So that's how we connected with her. And she was great to work with.
You know, she was fantastic. Yeah. Hey, this is a bit of the weird question. What made you decide to become a filmmaker?
Yeah, what made me decide? I think it was a gradual thing. You know, when I was younger, it definitely didn't seem like a viable career to be a filmmaker. You know, it seemed like a very fancy idea. Yeah, I actually did want to be an actress. I say that's a fancy idea, but I did kind of was interested in being an actress when I was very young. And then I decided I definitely didn't want to do that anymore. I got interested in photography. So I ended up going to college to do a bit of photography and started a university course. And that university course had a big filmmaking arm to it as well. Mm-hmm. So I think, I don't think I would have got into it if I hadn't ended up sort of, you know, accidentally studying it. And I really enjoyed filmmaking. So I did a 60mm short film in my third year at university. And it was just me in my living room with like 4 crew. And I was producing it and, you know, making the food and doing all the stuff. And I just thought it was really fun. I love working with actors. And then when I left university, you know, I still didn't think I'd necessarily be a filmmaker, but I was interested in it. I started to apply to funding and get funding for short films. And I gradually realized that this could be a thing I did.
Going up the ladder, yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like a ladder that I sort of slowly went up. And as I went up it, I got a bit more confident, a bit more like realized this was a thing I could do. And then I got into film school, and that was just a really nice time to really focus on filmmaking and definitely improve my confidence and my understanding of filmmaking. So,
Now it's Women's History Month, as
yeah.
I'm sure you know. So, do you want to tell us about being a woman in the film industry and gender equality and all that good stuff?
Well, it's great being a woman in film industry. I mean, you know, I'd highly recommend it to anyone. You know, it's not something I go about you know, personally, it's not something I go about thinking about a lot. But obviously, you know, people have different experiences. I've heard some really shocking, you know, stories of, you know, things that people say to women in film. And, you know, I've had more subtle things that are, you know, sometimes problematic. But in general, you know, it's been great. You know, I've been very fortunate, and I just think that it's getting more and more exciting for women in film. I think there's many more women getting funded for films and getting development finance. And I think, you know, you just need to look at the award ceremonies these years and see how many more women are being nominated and winning awards. So I think it's quite a different place from when I was 18, 19, where it did seem still a bit more of a boys' club. And I think now the sort of job to do is to make it even more inclusive than just being women, but, you know, women from all different kinds of backgrounds and things that are coming into film.
Oh, I can hear the violin music there. Well, that's cool. I mean, when I grew up, it was very much a boys' world, and middle class, testosterone-ridden young males with white skin.
Yeah,
not much white hair, I must say. No, it's great. It's great to see the changes. And at our festival, I think last year we had almost 49 or 50% female. Have you heard about the F-rated?
Yes. Yeah.
That's such a great thing. You know, get 1 F, 2 F, 3 Fs, depending how many females were in writer.
Oh, I didn't realize it was more than 1 F. That's cool.
You can get 3 Fs.
3 Fs.
Wow. Writer, director, producer. You could have 3 producers.
I think we get 3 Fs then. Do we get one of our producers is female? Does that mean we get 3 Fs?
Now, I don't know if you would get 2 Fs.
I think maybe 2 Fs. Yeah, there's more male producers than women, so you know.
You would still get 1 F for the 1 F producer.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if you had to do it again, what's the one thing you would do differently on Perfect 10? Or was it a perfect?
No, it wasn't perfect. No, it was pretty, you know, the first feature on a relatively low budget and quite an ambitious film. I mean, it's just going to cause lots of headaches. I think I maybe would have taken it a bit easier on myself. You know, I really worked hard and I lost a lot, you know, like I always do this when I make a film, I lose loads of weight, I get really stressed out. And because I'm so, you know, I so want to do a good job, you know. And so I think especially in pre-production, I was really stressed out because I was wanting to make all the right decisions. You know, I think pre-production is such an important stage and I really felt under a lot of pressure to make sure everything was there for the film. And then in terms of the actual filmmaking, I mean, yeah, I can't think of one thing that I would do different. There's lots of like little things that are harder to explain, but there's not one huge thing that I wish I could have done differently. You know, I'm proud of the final film, you know, because it was a big mountain to climb.
Yeah, no, you have every reason to be proud of it. But speaking of losing weight, what are you losing weight on now? What is your next project? Do you have any projects you'd like to share with us?
Well, I'm not losing weight on it now because all I'm doing is writing. So I'm just sitting around and eating a lot. So, but I am writing my next feature film. Hopefully, it's my next one called The Circle, which I'm developing with BBC Films, which is about teenagers again, but it's quite a different film. Perfect 10. It's a lot more, it's kind of like a dark, it's a dark film with funny bits in it. And it's about a teenage girl who creates this quite strange, sort of almost like a cult gathering of girls that follow her new high school. So that's interesting. And then I'm developing another feature film, which has not got any development finance yet, but I'm working with Emily Jouffroy, who produced my short film Diagnosis. And also I'm developing my first TV series. I'm trying to do it. It's my new venture for me. It's a whole new world, which I'm starting to discover. So I'm just doing a lot of writing at the moment, which is fun. I have a young daughter who arrived a year and a half ago. So it's quite a nice balance to be writing and developing stuff alongside looking after her. And then I'm looking forward to getting into shooting some projects, you know, sooner rather than later.
Well, it sounds like you and Sarah Gavron with Rocks are developing teenage stories. Do you think there's a whole market for that?
I don't know, really. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I never really think about the market. I just get obsessed with certain things and just get on and do it. Like I like teenagers because I don't know. I have really vivid memories of being a teenager, and I love teenagers. I think they're really interesting to watch and to work with. But I think sometimes people are a bit sniffy about teenage films and they think, oh, teenage films are only for teenagers. And I never understand that. Like I've always enjoyed watching films about children and young people. And I think people can, you know, adults can learn a huge amount from watching films about teenagers.
When you're writing, do you think of any particular genre? Like people always say genre, action adventure, or rom-com or whatever. Do you think of genre or you just...
I think more in terms of tone. So I think more in terms of like, is this funny? Is this not? And with Perfect 10, it was more, I knew it was a drama, naturalistic drama. And I knew it had to have like kind of almost like a sweetness running through it. Funnily enough, I almost got a bit tangled up in Perfect 10 because there's this gymnastics elements and motorbikes. And at some point when I was really lost in writing it, I almost turned it into this sports film at one point and then almost turned it into like a crime drama. And it so wasn't me. You know, my style is much more like, I don't know what the genre is. I guess it's just a drama. But yeah, so I don't really think in those terms.
And what's BBC Films like to work with, having worked on iFilm?
Yeah, iFeatures. Yeah, they were great. So it was kind of BBC Films, BIFA, Creative England. And iFeatures, and they were really supportive of me and like very patient when I was, you know, trying to work out what the story was and very accommodating to the way I wanted to work, which was really nice because, you know, it's quite a gamble to work with two first-time actors and work in the way that I wanted to work. So they were really supportive and they've been great on my next project as well.
I need to ask you an ego question, if you don't mind.
Yeah, of course.
You are an emerging filmmaker, female at that, yeah. What did it feel like to win the Raindance Discovery Award and be part of the whole BIFA thing?
Well, it was lovely. Yeah, it was very exciting. You know, obviously it's such a surreal experience to be at home. And it was a nice to, you know, I put my sort of sparkly earrings on and I put a nice top on and they sent us some champagne in the post, which was lovely. And yeah, it was lovely. It was really, really lovely because in a way that the point we're at in the distribution of the film is that it's kind of had its cinema run, you know, it's been on TV a little bit and it's been out there. We've had all that fun with that. And it almost felt like that all that stuff is kind of done now. And then to have that bit of excitement and to have a bit of recognition for the film at this late stage was really lovely. And it was so nice, you know. I was messaging all the people in the team, and Frankie and Alfie, who were in the film, were going mad and like ringing me, and it was just great. It was just a bit scary to have to do a speech online, like live. The scariest thing. And I know it's also great because I know Raindance really celebrates, like low budget and independent kind of filmmaking, and you know, I feel like Perfect 10 definitely lives up to that because it, you know, we did it in that spirit.
Yeah, well, I was delighted to hear that you'd won. Oh, that's great. So where can someone who listens or watches this, where can people go and see Perfect 10 mid-March, Women's History Month? Where can they go and see it?
Well, log on to, if you're in the UK, you can log on straight away to BBC iPlayer and watch it there. So if you just go into BBC iPlayer and then type in Perfect 10, it will come up. And I think it's on there until December. And then in terms of anywhere else, it's also online. I think, oh God, I'm going to get all the names wrong. If you Google Perfect 10 watch online, all the streamers, you know, the streaming services will come up, you know. I just don't want to say them in case some of them aren't on there anymore, you know.
Why don't we do it like this? Hey, do you want to watch Eva's Perfect 10? Just Google Perfect 10.
Google Perfect 10 watch, and don't watch any pirate links because that's naughty.
So do you know when your next film's going to start shooting?
I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure at the moment. I'm just definitely not this year. Maybe next year. I'm not sure. I'm just living in the moment now. It's crazy times, isn't it? So
Dennis Leary, the American comic, says in situations like this that he takes one day, a beer at a time, and each beer a sip at a time. And there's really not much else you can do.
That's how we should all live, isn't it?
Oh my God. Well, congratulations.
Thank you so much. Thanks very much, Elliot.
And you don't have a smartphone, or we would have done this on Instagram.
No, I'm sorry. I have my little Nokia 33.
Oh.
I can't get the internet on it. I used to have an iPhone, but I don't know. I looked at it too much, and it made my brain go a bit funny. So I just got rid of it, and it's a great decision for me.
So are you telling me your current mobile phone only makes phone calls?
Mm-hmm. Text messages and phone calls.
Just a couple of last questions. Hey, so how are you staying creative during the pandemic? I know you've got all these projects on the go, but how do you cope with being locked up?
I'm quite a routine person when it comes to creativity. Like I need to do it quite regularly. So, you know, I have certain days that I have allocated that I can, you know, have time to work. And so I do that. And I try and have sort of keep things kind of the same. And well, actually, when I'm trying to be creative, I do a lot of cleaning, do a lot of tidying up and cleaning. And then actually, like, sometimes things will come to me as I'm tidying up. So I'll do a bit of work, then I'll do a bit of tidying. And when I'm tidying, something will come to me. And I try and, you know, I found I didn't really read any books for like a while. But then now I'm getting back into reading novels and a bit of poetry, and that's really nice. And I'm also trying to keep, I like keeping notebooks and, you know, just putting down ideas. So I'm trying to get back to doing that. So just trying to get back to things which I've always loved doing, which is like reading and looking at photos and writing notes and stuff.
Well, violin music again. You've got huge fans here at Raindance. Please let us know anything that we can do.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Elliot. It was a real joy to talk to you.